Get pregnant faster, implantation bleeding, early pregnancy spotting. In this video, we are going to discuss how you can get pregnant faster. We are going to answer all your questions about early pregnancy bleeding or early pregnancy spotting. And remember, if you have any questions about fertility, about how you can get pregnant faster, just go to the comments and submit your question. I'll be able to answer all your questions in regards to fertility. How can you get pregnant faster? You are expecting that you are pregnant, but you are experiencing spotting, you are experiencing early pregnancy bleeding. What is the cause of early pregnancy bleeding? Gerald Massa, the health educator, are the names of the channel, and on this channel we do create awareness about fertility and reproductive health. So when you experience bleeding in early pregnancy, you've done the urine pregnancy test and it is positive, and you are actually seeing little drops of blood on your knickers, and you are asking yourself, are you experiencing a miscarriage, pregnancy loss, or what is really causing this? We are going to discuss everything about early pregnancy bleeding. Remember, when fertilization takes place, fertilization is when the male sperm meets with the female egg. When they do meet and then they fuse and then they join, there's going to be changes that are going to take place. The first change is that there's going to be an egg which is fertilized. It's going to actually form what we call a morula, and then this is a round ball-like structure which will roll through your fallopian tubes, and then it will go, and then it will attach itself onto the wall of your uterus. The attachment of a fertilized egg onto the side and onto the wall of your uterus is what we call implantation. Now, when this implantation or digging or burrowing or attachment of this fertilized egg is taking place on the wall of your uterus, there's going to be rupture of the blood vessels. There's going to be rupture of the blood vessels. In our local language, we call it okwabika, okwemisua. There's going to be rupture of these blood vessels as the fertilized egg is digging deep. Just imagine you've planted a seed into the soil, and then this seed is germinating, it is growing. It's going to extend its roots into the soil, and then as it is extending, there's going to be sort of patches in the soil. There's going to be that kind of like the roots are digging deep. They're looking for support. They are looking for support for the growing crop that is later going to become a tree. So as those roots are digging, imagine that digging taking place onto your wall of your uterus. That digging is going to cause rupture of the blood vessels, because before you got pregnant, before fertilization took place, before the whole process took place, your uterus had a fine lining which is known as a fine endometrial lining. That is the inside of your uterus was very clear. There was no problems, there were no issues, just the hormones, the progesterone and the estrogen rising, falling, which is cyclic for your menstrual cycle. But in this particular case, you have got pregnant, and there's going to be changes. The uterus which was clear, the lining which was clear, is going to be distorted. I think distorted is the right word. So as this egg is digging deep, there's going to be rupture of the blood vessels. We've talked about that, and this rupture of the blood vessels is actually what is evidenced, is what you see on the physical as the blood or the little droplets, clear blood which is actually very little on your knickers. We call that implantation bleeding or early pregnancy bleeding. I believe at this point we've answered the question, the first part of the question, which was saying that what is early pregnancy bleeding. At this point, you know what early pregnancy bleeding is. You know what brings this about. So if you've done the urine pregnancy test and it is positive, you've gone ahead and you've done the serum HCG pregnancy test, that is the test of pregnancy using your blood, and your doctor has told you that it is positive. At this point, you know why you are getting spotting. At this point, you know why you are experiencing early pregnancy spotting. So, if you ask yourself, if you are to ask me, should you be worried that you've done the pregnancy test, it is positive, and there's bleeding or there's spotting on your knickers, and you are asking yourself, should you be worried? The answer is yes and no. Yes, meaning that you should actually not be worried. The answer is yes and no. Why I say that you should not be worried is that this is normal. It's a normal phenomenon which happens in all women who have just got pregnant. Most of the women, some women do not experience early pregnancy bleeding or implantation bleeding. Some women do not, but that is a small number. The biggest percentage of women do experience what we call early pregnancy bleeding. So you should not be worried. It's normal. Why I say that you should be worried is that if the bleeding increases in volume, you were supposed to see maybe 1 or 2 drops on your knicker, and then you all of a sudden begin seeing gushing of blood or lots of blood, like 500 milliliters is one big cup, coming out, or the blood increases in its volume, but it's also actually having clots, dark clots in them, then you should be worried. This is a danger sign. It's a danger sign, meaning that you could actually be experiencing what we call early miscarriage. You could be experiencing early pregnancy loss. So at this point, what do you need to do? We've talked about the early pregnancy bleeding. We've talked about the causes. The causes basically, I've said that it's normal, but also, when we are looking at the causes of early pregnancy bleeding, specifically, it could be due to the implantation, as I said, but it could also be due to an underlying infection in early pregnancy. And that's why you need to do what we call a pelvic ultrasound scan. And then also, your doctor will request to do what we call the serum HCG pregnancy tests or the urine HCG pregnancy tests. These tests will give us a clear picture whether you are pregnant or you are not pregnant, because you may come to hospital and you may be complaining that you are pregnant, and your complaint will be that you're pregnant and you are about to lose the baby. But when your doctor does the pregnancy test and it is negative, then it means the bleeding is not due to pregnancy. There's something else causing this bleeding. Your doctor will do more evaluation. And then what you need to do, or what your doctor will do most likely, your doctor will request for what we call a pelvic or gynecologic ultrasound scan. This ultrasound scan will give us a clear picture of what is happening inside your reproductive system. If there's an early pregnancy taking place, or if you are pregnant in the first weeks, then there's going to be a well-defined gestational sac. This is the sac of the baby. And then, of course, if there's also clots adjacent to the sac, then that's what we call subchorionic hematomas. Your doctor will put this on the report. If at all your doctor does not see a gestational sac, the baby sac inside the uterus, then what is causing the bleeding? Because you've done the pregnancy test and it is positive, there are high chances that you could actually be having what we call an ectopic pregnancy. Ectopic also means an extrauterine pregnancy. Pregnancy outside the uterus. You are expecting to be pregnant with a baby inside the uterus, but the baby is outside the uterus. Ectopic pregnancy. Very dangerous. So if you do the pelvic ultrasound scan and it shows, your doctor tells you that you are having what we call an ectopic pregnancy, then there are high chances that actually you may not be discharged immediately. Your doctor will take you up, admit you, and then do more tests on you. And then, of course, prompt management will be given, whereby most likely your doctor may do an operation or a procedure which is also known as a salpingectomy, whereby the tube will be actually opened up and then washing will be done in the theater, and then management will be given by your doctor. Thank you for watching today's video. I believe at this point you've understood something about early pregnancy bleeding. If you do have any questions, kindly ask me all your questions, and then remember to donate towards our work so that we reach more people with this type of information. Donate whatever amount you can. Thanks a lot, my friend, and let me see you in tomorrow's video. Have yourself a great day, and bye bye.